Hi, everyone. Welcome to The Whole Truth. I want to delve into today why I truly believe that the current wave of protests in Iran are signaling the complete demise of this regime. This goes far beyond just a little civil unrest. And despite the way that the mainstream media is choosing to gaslight and frame this as just economic grievances, this goes way beyond that. Mark my words, I'm good at predicting this. The regime is on its way out. We're talking weeks or days, not months. And let me explain why. So first, it is true that economic collapse is what sparked this wave of protests, but it's far from the only thing that is driving it. And when it comes to the economy, there is no way out for the regime. The problems with the economy that have led to this point are systemic and structural. This is not something that can be solved, by change in economic policy or any sort of negotiation. Okay, the sanctions by European powers and America and others are not going to be lifted unless there's a radical change, particularly with the nuclear program by Iran. And this regime cannot do that. They can only stall, and that's not going to cut it anymore. Not under this president. Not with Bibi Netanyahu leading Israel. So that's number one. Number two, we have an array of environmental catastrophes. And while some of this, is certainly precipitated by climate change and other things, it can be mostly attributed to mismanagement and corruption by the regime. Okay, I'm talking about the water crisis in particular, but that has cascaded to other issues such as land subsidence, heavy pollution. I mean, Tehran now has the mantle of the most polluted city in the world. We're talking 60,000 people a year die from the levels of pollution in Tehran. Okay, so very bad pollution, water crisis, land subsidence from overusing the aquifers and groundwater, which in turn leads to infrastructure problems. So all these things are converging. And again, this is systemic and intrinsic to the regime because the regime has chosen to be self-sufficient agriculturally, and agriculture accounts for almost all the water use in Iran. And because of the bribes and corruption that regime insiders get to produce certain crops or to build certain dams and things like that, there is no way to fix the water crisis. In fact, even if a good regime comes in, the only way that they can possibly fix the water crisis is to bring in outside help, notably Israel, which is a world leader in water technology. But aside from these issues, the most important reason why I think that this regime is in its final days is because Israel is on the ground there. And Mossad is on the ground. They have been, as we've seen with the 12-day war. They've been on the ground and they know what they're doing. Do not underestimate Mossad. Anybody that underestimates Mossad is doing so at their own peril. Okay, so during the 12-day war, a large portion of the IRGC leadership was completely decapitated. And now we can see the effects of that, which is that there is a complete lack of control and command structure in Iran and the IRGC. But they're still there. The Mossad is still there. And they're continuing to inhibit the IRGC from putting down this revolution. And I don't want to take away from the Iranian people. They're the ones that are doing this revolution. They're the ones that are leading it. They're the ones that are achieving everything that they're doing over there. But the Mossad is behind the scenes, and they are helping. And so long as we have Trump in office and Bibi in office, they're going to continue to do that. And there's no coming back for this regime. There is no coming back. Okay? These protesters, if the regime goes too violent, they're just going to martyr protesters. And every single time there's a funeral, these protests are going to spiral out of control again. If they go too soft, then the protesters are going to be more emboldened. So really, they're at a complete deadlock. They have no way out of this. And it's going to be, I think, within this month, maybe 2 weeks.